Sheriff's investigators are trying to determine whether a person suspected of a home burglary is the same person who apparently took his own life and was the chief of a tribal public safety department.
Well, Fox 12's Dylan Scott is live outside the Clark County Sheriff's Office with the latest. Dylan.
Riel and Nora, good afternoon. Now, the Clark County Sheriff's Office says with the investigation very much ongoing, details are limited at the moment. But one thing we can tell you is a community is currently in mourning after what they say is a truly shocking and devastating loss.
Great father. His son and my son were best of friends. They grew up together. Just absolutely 100% shocked that this actually happened.
Vancouver resident Dave Reynolds has lived in this neighborhood since the 1990s, alongside Charles Rob Gardner, the interim chief of the Cowlitz Tribal Public Safety Department, a man he described as an all-American, having also served in the U.S. Army and for 25 years with the Washington State Patrol. Now at the center of a suspected burglary and then apparent suicide incident that occurred there Wednesday evening.
A great neighbor. He was kind of the focal point of the whole community that we have around here. I can't even express what a great guy he was, and still is, as far as I'm concerned.
Details from the Clark County Sheriff's Office are limited with the investigation ongoing. What we do know is deputies responded to a burglary call of a male subject inside a residence around 9:43 that evening at the 9000 block of Northeast 79th Street in Northeast Vancouver.
There was really no signs of any trouble at all, that nobody was aware of it.
After fleeing on foot, law enforcement searched the area, locating a vehicle with a deceased person inside. Matching the suspect description, investigators say evidence suggests the individual died from a self-inflicted gunshot wound, leading many to wonder what exactly happened. In a statement, the Cowlitz Indian tribe acknowledged the incident and deferred to Clark County for further details during this difficult time, as many in this community try to process and understand what unfolded and why.
I don't know what more I can say other than he was the epitome of what a man really should be.
Again, this investigation is very much ongoing. Anyone with information of any kind on this incident is asked to reach out to the Clark County Sheriff's Office. In Vancouver, Dylan Scott, Fox 12 Oregon.